This is Michael Popok, Legal AF. We got breaking news out of Fulton County, Georgia, where the district attorney, Fani Willis, is moving full steam ahead with her grand jury that's already been impaneled and has been hearing evidence for almost a week. If Jack Smith is signaling to her about when his indictment of Donald Trump is coming and what it could be about, she's signaling to him about where she is with her Civil RICO Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organization Act sprawling indictment that is likely to be coming out in the next 2 or 3 weeks. We have new reporting from Hugo Lowell, a reporter, investigative reporter down in Atlanta, Georgia. He writes for The Guardian that based on his 2 sources of information that he's been able to develop, it looks like at least this RICO conspiracy case that Fani Willis is putting on to get her indictment out of the grand jury in Fulton County is focused on at least two bad acts. In the world of RICO, Racketeering Influence Corrupt Organization Act cases, you need a RICO enterprise, which is the conspiracy, and you need 2 predicate acts, 2 underlying bad acts. And it looks like at least 2 acts. You can have more and likely will. And you have to have at least 2 people. And we know that Fani Willis is looking at dozens of people with Donald Trump at the focus of it, along with Mark Meadows, along with Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell and others. But the focus looks to be on at least 2 bad acts. 1, influencing witnesses. That's a crime in Georgia and everywhere else. And we can only presume that that is the phone calls made by Donald Trump and the pressure campaign that he led along with Rudy Giuliani and Mark Meadows to put pressure on elected officials, state election officials, members of the House and Senate in Georgia, to get them to turn the tide and steal 11,758 votes, which is the exact number of Joe Biden's lead, and give it to Donald Trump. So those phone calls that we know have been recorded by Donald Trump to Brad Raffensperger, the Secretary of State at the time, to try to flip votes, that is influencing witnesses, voter intimidation related to the election, and that is a crime in Georgia. So now you got predicate act number 1 that it appears based on new reporting, Fani Willis and her team are going after. The second one has not gotten a lot of attention, but I'm going to give it here on the hot take. I'm going to give it the attention it deserves on this hot take. It is computer trespass. Now, some people might be saying, what did he do now? Well, this has been well reported over the last year. And this no doubt relates to the Sidney Powell, at the behest of Donald Trump, hiring a illegal forensic team, a computer team, to go into a rural county 200 miles south of Georgia, Coffee County, population 43,000, that went 70% for Donald Trump, by the way, and used Dominion voting system machines, which, by the way, most of the state of Georgia used Dominion voting system machines. That may ring a bell because Dominion got almost $1 billion settlement from Fox News because they aired Sidney Powell's crazy theory that Dominion voting systems, in conjunction with Smartmatic, another software company, installed Venezuelan approved software and hardware that flipped votes, that if you voted for Trump, it became a Biden vote. All that's false, all that's untrue, and all that is a fraud. But Sidney Powell led that campaign in lawsuits, and here in Coffee County, she paid $26,000 to a forensic team, right? Led a company called Sullivan Strickler, who got access through the Republican Party in Coffee County and its head, Kathy Latham, who unlocked the door, allowed the head of Cyber Ninjas, right, just to continue with this ridiculousness, the head of Cyber Ninjas, Doug Logan, along with this outside forensic firm, Sullivan Strickler, to get inside of the server rooms where the computers were located on January the 7th, the day after the insurrection at Washington, 2 days after the runoff election for the Senate seat in in Georgia, and just gave these insurrectionists, these traitors, access to all of the servers, and they downloaded all of the hard drives. How do we know that? Because one of the co-conspirators here, who is a bail bondsman from Atlanta. I mean, if this was a TV show or something on Netflix, people would stop watching because it's so ridiculous. But this is the truth. You got Scott Hall, an Atlanta area bail bondsman, who leaves a rambling message, which basically tips off the authorities that he and his group here with Doug Logan, Sidney Powell, and others, through Kathy Latham, the head of the Republican Party in Coffee County, have gotten inside the room, got inside the vault, gotten the server access, the computer access, and downloaded and imaged all the hard drives with confidential and private voter data. Yes, if you live in Coffee County, your voter data was compromised by your Republican Party doing its bidding for Donald Trump in this conspiracy. And there's video surveillance evidence that shows people going in, all of these people going in and out of the election office, right? And leaving Doug Logan, who's the head of Cyber Ninjas, left his business card next to the servers when the real officials went in there to find out what was going on and investigate. That's what they found. As you know, I'm a trial lawyer, and when I'm not breaking down the latest legal filings of the day for you on Legal AF, I'm jumping from courthouse to meeting, and it can be exhausting and, frankly, dehydrating. That's why I started using Liquid IV. Liquid IV is the #1 powdered hydration brand in America and is now available in a sugar-free option. With 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients for everyday wellness, Liquid IV hydrates 2 times faster than water alone. And you can keep your daily routine exciting with 3 new flavors: white peach, green grape, and lemon lime. I love how Liquid IV makes me feel. After having Liquid IV, I feel ready to take on the day at full strength. Also, the packaging is super convenient and makes it super easy to carry with me for when I need it most. My favorite flavor is the white peach. It's robust and super satisfying, but you can't go wrong with green grape and lemon lime either. Just 1 stick of Liquid IV in 16 ounces of water hydrates you 2 times faster and more efficiently than water alone. There are no artificial sweeteners and 0 sugar, with a proprietary amino acid allulose blend for a sweet taste without the calories or raised blood glucose levels you get from sugar. And of course, it's non-GMO and free from gluten, dairy, and soy. Liquid IV believes that equitable access to clean and abundant water is the foundation of a healthier world. They partner with leading organizations to fund and foster innovative solutions that help communities protect both their water and their futures. To date, Liquid IV has donated over 39 million servings in 50-plus countries around the world. Real people, real flavor, real hydrating. Now sugar-free. Grab your Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier sugar-free in bulk nationwide at Costco, or get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code LegalAF at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you use promo code LegalAF at liquidiv.com. Kathy Latham gave an interview about the security of, I'm not making this up, the security of the election process in her county. And while she was giving the interview, in the background behind her was a Post-it note with the password to log in to the voting data on the computer system. That's how secure that was. That was broadcasted on all the video data with her Post-it note with her password. And she's also been called down, understandably, to testify before the grand jury with Fani Willis. She's also tried to join in with Donald Trump to try to get the special purpose grand jury report, which predates the grand jury's work, but that the grand jury can rely on, tossed because she says it's somehow illegal, improper, or whatever. You know, Kathy Latham is in a lot of trouble. She's going to be an indicted co-conspirator at the rate this conspiracy is developing. So we've got the Coffee County Computer Trespass, Computer Tampering Predicate Act, #1. We've got the attempting to influence election officials, state officials, and the like to try to pressure them as part of that Trump pressure campaign to get them to flip votes, throw out absentee ballots, challenge ballots for Joe Biden to try to close the gap and overcome the 11,758 election day advantage or election total advantage for Joe Biden. And so you put all that together, the multiple co-conspirators, and I've just listed 3 or 4 of them right here in the Coffee County computer forensic tampering case. And then you've got all the pressure campaign with Donald Trump, Mark Meadows, and Rudy Giuliani on officials. Because while Donald Trump was making phone calls, right, to Brad Raffensperger and others to try to influence them, Rudy Giuliani was pressuring both by lawsuit and by meetings and fake hearings election official, state legislators and congresspeople, their House and Senate members to try to get them to flip the votes. So this is that campaign. And how do you take a piece of elastic in the form of a criminal statute and wrap it around all of these activities and all of these people? You do it through conspiracy if you're a prosecutor, and you do it through RICO conspiracy, because Georgia's RICO statute is probably the most robust and powerful RICO statute in the country. Every state has one. It's even more powerful than the federal one. And it gives the prosecutor, in the form of Fani Willis, a tremendous amount of power, firepower in her arsenal and in her toolbox. And she's going to use it. Fani Willis has used RICO in her time in the DA's office more than any of the prior district attorneys have used combined. She has a RICO expert who's a special prosecutor that works with her on this case against Donald Trump. So if anybody thinks on the Trump side that they're confused about the witnesses, the evidence, and the documents, and how this all could lead to an indictment and a conviction, which is what the recent reporting is, they're all scratching their head in a misinformation campaign that there's got to be more against me. I can't just be, this can't be it. Yeah, this is it, Trump. This is it. It's this kind of campaign now having the cover ripped off of it and revealed to the public in a future indictment that's going to be your undoing in Georgia, as Fani Willis races in her own way to beat Jack Smith in bringing her claims. Now, she also has the ability in a conspiracy case to tie together acts throughout the state. Some people might be saying, well, she's Fulton County, Atlanta, Georgia. How is she going 200 miles south to Coffee County? Because it doesn't matter where the conspiracy took place, and it doesn't matter where those people were located. As long as it ties back to the conspiracy over which she has jurisdiction because of the phone calls into Atlanta and other places, she can then grab these different locations, jurisdictions. That's why she's able to reach outside the state, and we know she's investigating the pressure campaign and the fake elector campaign in other states. She also has, of course, about a dozen fake electors, people who signed their name to a certificate swearing that they were the real and true electors for the state in favor of Donald Trump, and then submitting them, signing them in secret, and then submitting them to the National Archive and to Congress for Mike Pence to recognize. That's a crime. And that fake elector scandal went on in 6 other states. And so she's grabbing that as well and bringing it into her conspiracy. So we're going to continue to follow as we get new information about what's going on week 1 in the grand jury that's been impaneled in Fulton County, Atlanta, Georgia. We get more information out of Atlanta than we generally do out of the federal, but we try to follow Jack Smith in the federal indictment process as well, which we expect sometime today, Friday this week, early next week, with Donald Trump federally being indicted again for Jan 6 interference and leading the insurrection by Jack Smith's team in the District of Columbia, a DC indictment leading to a surrender, arrest, arraignment again for Donald Trump likely next week. We'll continue to report it in only one place, the MeidasTouch Network. But you knew that. You're watching me here. You can follow me, Michael Popok, on all things social media, including on Threads at MS Popok. You can also watch me on the leading political legal podcasts, that's also on the MeidasTouch network called Legal AF. We do it on Wednesday nights and we do it on Saturday nights. And you can watch us on YouTube. Free subscribe. Or you can listen to the audio download and listen to it on audio platforms wherever you get your podcasts. It's also free. And if you like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs up here. And we'll see you on the next Hot Take. Michael Popok, Legal AF reporting.
Hey, Meidas Mighty. Love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.